What is going on, YouTube? Northeast Ohio Sports Cards here to talk some baseball today. We are in the middle of spring training on the fast track to the regular season starting. And I wanted to throw out a couple names that I'm actually interested in holding into the season. A lot of the baseball I have moved off of Star Stock, but I still have some players that I am intrigued by, and I'm not going to fire sell them off just to get rid of them before the season starts or anything like that. I could sell them for a slight profit right now, but I think they have more room to go. So I'm going to carry them into the season and see what happens. As per usual, before we get into it, YouTube stuff down below. Like, comment, sub. You guys know the drill. And we will be working exclusively in market movers again today. So whether you're on Star Stock or not, that's really immaterial. Regardless of platform, I generally like these couple of players that we're going to talk about. There's 5 of them. They're in no particular order, so we cannot call this a top 5. It's just a list of 5. Number 1 on the list that is not numbered, Eloy Jimenez. I will say this is my favorite one on the list. I really think people are sleeping on Eloy. Now, just for random sample size, I ran all these charts and graphs back 90 days. He is up quite a bit since Christmas. 35% on his base, 94% on his Chrome. So once again, we see the trend where Chrome is outpacing paper. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. I still think it's actually too cheap, especially the paper. I do believe the paper is pretty undervalued here, sitting at around 80 bucks. I actually think I like Eloy better than Lubob. Lubob not on the list. I try to go with more under key guys here, by the way, as well. I did not include Soto or Tatis or Acuna. If you need to be told to buy, sell, or trade those guys, then maybe reevaluate what you're doing in the baseball market. But so those guys aren't on the list. I try to go like the next tier or 2 down for some more intriguing names. But yeah, Eloy, love him. I think he's extremely underrated. I think the White Sox are going to be really, really good this year. And I think Eloy is going to be a main key cog for them. And I believe that he has been slept on for the most part to this point, why Lubob gets all the buzz. Shout out to Natsman and his Lubob love. Number 2 on the list is Jan Monkatta, running mates of Eloy and Lubob previously mentioned. And once again, you could kind of apply the same logic. I really like Monkatta as a hitter. I think he's a little bit slept on because Lubob gets all the glory and even Eloy does. And as we mentioned with Eloy, I believe that the White Sox are going to be a force to be reckoned with this year in the AL Central. That division has really taken a step back, in my opinion. And I think they are the clear-cut favorite by a mile. And I think they are going to be pretty damn good this year. They look like the total package team, at least coming into the season. So I am trying to target as many pieces from there as possible. And once again, Lubob's just a little too overpriced for my liking. I would rather target the secondary players, especially Eloy, but I wouldn't mind throwing a little bit at Monkatta as well. So that's our first 2 on the list, both White Sox. We will leave Chicago and head down to Houston. Yordan Alvarez. I don't know why I fell in with this guy. I just think he is super cheap for the potential production. He had the knee injury last year, which pretty much cost him the season. His stuff has not gone up a ton. His Chrome has, but everyone's Chrome has 114% over the last 90. His paper has only gone up 23% over the last 90. It's currently sitting at about 60 bucks for a PSA 10. I like either one of these as pickups, and I am perfectly fine holding these in the season. This guy is a home run monster. I don't care that he's just a DH. And yes, he has some Astros taint on him, but that team's pretty much disassembled now for the most part. There's some pieces left, but not many of those guys are left anymore, and that team's not once what they once were, rather. And this guy's, once again, is just a home run monster. This guy has tremendous power. He could put up a huge home run season this year if he could stay healthy. It's a big if. There's a little bit of risk with this one, but on his paper for, 60 bucks a pop, that doesn't seem too risky to me. I prefer the Chrome as always. But 2 papers for the same price as a Chrome, the paper might actually be the better buy here. That is quite a large gap between the paper and the Chrome on Jordan. Next up, Rafael Devers. Had a very down season last year in the short season, but prior to that, the season previous, the last full season, he had a tremendous season. He looked great. The Red Sox look great. That team has been disassembled. He's kind of what's left. Maybe there's a chance that they move him. I don't know, but I really just like him as a talent. And once again, his stuff feels too cheap. His 2018 Topps paper is currently sitting at around $60, and his Chrome is sitting around $70 to $80. Recently took a little bit of a dip here. Prior to this, it was about $80, so we'll call it 70 to 80. And his paper at about 60. To me, the Chrome seems like an absolute steal at around 60 to 7 or around 70 to $80 rather. In every other chart that we've looked at, the Chrome has drastically outpaced the paper. And in this case, that has not happened yet. And I think he's being slept on because he had such a bad season last year. This is probably my second favorite on the list behind Eloy. And this is actually probably has the most potential upside because he has not seen a big price increase like a lot of these other guys have. Talent-wise, Eloy is probably my favorite. Straight undervalued, hasn't seen the rise that the rest of the baseball market has. Devers is probably my favorite. So do with that information that you will. Once again, always do your own research. I am not the biggest baseball guy in the world. I follow the sport fairly closely, but I am not in it day to day like basketball. So take that for what it is worth. Last but not least is Ozzy. The Braves also look like a team to be reckoned with. Once again, Acuna gets pretty much most of the love there. But good old Ozzy is a pretty good hitter in his own right. He had a really good season 2 years ago prior to the short season. Last year was a little up and down. But once again, his stuff has not seen tremendous increases like a lot of the other players have. And this is kind of a weird one because he doesn't really do any one thing. Like, he's not a big power hitter. He's a good average hitter. But for an infielder, he's going to put up pretty good numbers. And once again, this is another case where the Chrome feels way too cheap to me. It's only gone up 47%. His paper's gone up 40%. So the Chrome has not seen the big separation like it has with the paper. So if he takes off at all, I think there's a lot of room in this Chrome to go up. And you're getting into it for $60 to $70, give or take, if that. And the paper for 53. This is a case where I'd 100% go after the Chrome and see where it takes you. But I do believe in the Braves as a team, and they're going to get a lot of eyeballs on them because of Acuna. Same reason with the White Sox guys with Lou Bob. And those are two very trendy teams in general for this upcoming baseball season. So those are my, once again, kind of lower key, not your Acuna, Soto, Tatis Jr., or Ohtani's been getting a lot of buzz lately. I do not like Ohtani. I mean, Ohtani's cool. I like him. I wish him well. But he is just so injury prone. He has got to prove it to me. So beyond your standard big three, these are just some interesting names to me for this upcoming season. And also not like the kids, like Wander Franco and all the ridiculously young guys that you're kind of taking a more risk on. These are your little bit more proven vets, second, third, fourth year players that have actually done some stuff in the bigs. So that's all I got for you guys today. Weekly sports card market update coming tomorrow on Sunday morning. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.